Thank you. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, let me ask you a question. Who are you? Do you know where you stand and what's most important to you? Knowing who you are empowers you. Knowing who you are helps you find steady ground, even if you find yourself in shaky circumstances. There was a time I had no idea who I was. I was very confident growing up in Japan. I was a straight-A student. I took music lessons. I learned calligraphy. I was outstanding in all of these areas, and I thought I had achieved all that solely because of my talent, hard work, and strong willpower. How perfect could I be? After high school, I graduated from a top university and had a head start in my career as a programmer. Then everything changed. My mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer. The doctor told us that it was too late and she only had a few months left. My mother was getting weaker and weaker in front of my eyes, and I could do nothing to stop that. I felt so powerless. My mother passed away in December of that same year. Shortly after, my father quit his job and stayed home. He complained that he couldn't sleep. My mother's death had hit him hard. He blamed himself for not noticing his own wife's illness early enough. 3 years later, my father unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack. Looking back, I realized that he was suffering from a severe depression. However, back then, I had no knowledge of that condition, and I was not equipped to provide him with the support he needed. So in 3 years, I lost both of my parents. I was 25. This shook my entire world. They were the most solid existence in my whole life. And it had never even occurred to me that I would lose them eventually. My steady ground was gone and I didn't know where to stand. All of a sudden, it felt as if everything that I thought I had achieved was actually just given to me by my parents. I no longer knew who I was. When I moved to the United States, I was still on shaky ground, and I got even more lost here. My English was worse than that of a 2-year-old. I had attended one of the most prestigious universities in Japan. However, the name of the school meant nothing here. I had nothing, I was nothing. I didn't even know who I was. I was so embarrassed by my broken English, I hid from everyone. I was not only an emotional wreck, I was also financially broken. I couldn't even afford fresh bagels and lived on day-old bagels that were sold at a deep discount. I would wake up in the middle of the night because of my anxiety. One day, after a year of hiding in fear, something in me snapped, and I asked myself, why am I not doing anything? Isn't working hard and overcoming challenges my thing? And who said I was embarrassing? Only I did. I started showing up. Hi! I initiated conversation with whomever I came across, and showed off my broken English. I attended business school, received an MBA, and got a job. I could finally afford fresh bagels. Then I changed jobs and further progressed in my career. Today, I can even afford a dozen fresh bagels. Absolute luxury. Along the way, I rediscovered myself, and I was the same person I had known growing up. I was still a hard worker, I was still persistent, and I still believed in willpower. It is this knowledge that keeps me going. I know I am a person who works hard to overcome challenges. I am a person who shows up. I know exactly who I am. Please ask yourself, who am I? Note the values you believe in and things that are most important to you. Knowing who you are empowers you. Even if you find yourself in shaky circumstances, knowing who you are helps you find steady ground. You are that steady ground. Madam Contest Chair.
Thank you, Suzie. At this time, I would like to ask the time